So we'll be taking a look at some stories involving Big E's cash-in, an all-women's show, and more. Let's start things off with this huge shakeup to Raw, and that's of course Big E cashing in his Money in the Bank on Bobby Lashley to become the new WWE champion. Some fans were upset about the cash-in because it was spoiled by WWE themselves earlier in the day. Big E posted a tweet Monday morning talking about his plans to come to Raw to cash in and become WWE champion. Not only did WWE repost that tweet, they actually created an official Raw graphic of Big E with the contract and said, "Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern." Fans in the comments were a bit angry about the cash-in being spoiled because that's part of the aura of the Money in the Bank contract. It's supposed to be a surprise. It's supposed to happen unexpectedly. It's supposed to catch everyone off guard and just be this giant shocking moment that no one saw coming. WWE obviously didn't go that traditional route here at all. They used Big E's cash-in to promote and advertise Raw, giving viewers more of a reason to watch. Then, Big E opens Raw, once again talking about his plans to cash in during the main event. Another spoiler, and a way to keep you watching until the very last second of Raw. So that was the whole strategy behind spoiling Big E's cash-in. It was used to bring in more hype and viewership to the show. But let's get into some story flaws here, which mostly looks bad on Bobby Lashley's behalf. So, like we just talked about, Big E's cash-in basically confirmed to be taking place on Raw since Monday morning. It was a whole day of advertising his cash-ins with graphics, tweets, posts, and more all day long. Not only that, but Big E opens up Raw and tells Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley that he's cashing in tonight 100 times to their face. They most definitely got the message. So Lashley picks up the win over Orton, and right away, knowing the big threat of Big E cashing in, he should have immediately turned his attention to the ramp and waited for Big E to come out. Usually a champion can't do that because they don't know when someone is cashing in. But this was a rare case where a superstar promised to cash in. So basic logic is that Lashley should have been on high alert following his pin of Randy Orton. Maybe Big E would have thought twice about entering the ring with a still very healthy Bobby Lashley after that title match. But what Lashley actually ended up doing was probably pretty foolish given this circumstance and situation. He continues to beat down outside of the ring on Orton, tweaks his knee, and Big E comes out. So yes, we see the story here. Bobby Lashley loses the title, but he's still protected because he was tired from the title match, plus tweaked his knee post-match. But for Bobby Lashley to continue the attack on Orton after he already won and leave himself vulnerable, knowing that Big E told him to his face that he was cashing in tonight, was a very questionable decision from Bobby Lashley's character. If Big E's cash-in was a complete surprise and he never said anything all day on Monday, then what we saw on Raw would have been the perfect cash-in. But for Lashley to be fully aware of the cash-in and still put himself in harm's way like that does make the character look pretty foolish. So that is a small logic flaw there. But either way, Big E is the new WWE champion, which is still great. He's a fresh face in the world title scene. He's never held a world title before. So it's always great to see someone new in the world title scene just to make it to the top. You also had the New Day come out to share the big emotional win with Big E. The New Day celebrated Kofi's WWE title win back in 2019. So it was great to see all three of them back in the ring celebrating Big E's world title win. All that's left is for Xavier Woods to capture the WWE title one day, and the New Day could officially say that they were all WWE champions. Quick note about Big E's original cash-in as well. Reports claim that WWE had plans to have the WWE draft after SummerSlam, and that Raw would have seen Big E drafted to Raw early in the night and cash in on Lashley to close out the night. So that was the original plan, but they switched it up a bit, decided to promote the cash-in, and that's what we saw on this week's Raw. The WWE title picture now goes through Big E, so it'll be very interesting to see what stories and feuds he finds himself in. So we'll see how this title reign kicks off for Big E. Some fans have been noticing some inconsistencies with Becky Lynch and her SmackDown Women's Championship. Fans believe that Becky is using multiple versions of the titles. There's also issues with her side plates right now as well. That title that Becky uses for SmackDown television is a very short strap title. Some fans even speculating that it could have been the same title Sasha used during her title reign. Sasha always had the short strap title, but at live events, Becky Lynch is using the more full-length title. However, the side plates have black tape covering them. It's a weird look, and everyone is asking about the black tape on the side plates. Well, reports claim that the black tape and the multiple titles is all due to the fact that Becky's new side plates aren't ready yet. Becky's return and title win at SummerSlam was a decision that was made at the last second, so they obviously didn't have Becky's side plates ready to go at all. Some fans have also asked why they don't go back to using her side plates from 2020. Well, the answer to that question is that it's a new era of Becky's character, so they most likely want fresh new side plates as well. So that seems to be what's going on with the multiple titles being used right now for Becky Lynch. Hopefully her side plates come in soon, maybe in time for Extreme Rules. The idea of an all-women's wrestling show has been around for a very long time. Reports even claim that WWE's original vision for SmackDown back in the day was for it to be an all-women's show, but those plans ended up being changed. It wasn't until 2018 where WWE had its first women's-only pay-per-view event. That event featured several amazing matches and moments from the past and present members of the WWE women's roster, with the main event of Nikki Bella vs. Ronda Rousey. It was a highly successful event. Fans and superstars have been asking for an Evolution 2 for 3 years now. Stephanie McMahon gets asked about it often and says it's still something they're discussing. Triple H was asked about it a few months back and made headlines when he said it isn't really needed. So even though Evolution 2 is nowhere near to happening, it's still highly talked about and brought up in conversations. Some reports claim that we won't likely see another Evolution until Ronda Rousey returns. So that's anyone's guess out there. Another backstage superstar who was pressuring WWE hard to do another Evolution or all-women's wrestling show was Mickie James. Mickie James recently spoke with Sportsline and had this to say about what she was asking for. I had very important conversations with very important people. I said, hey, let's do an all-women's brand. We do 205 Live and all these other things. We need content for the network. We have an immense amount of talent that isn't necessarily getting used on television right now. This could be a wonderful place for them to grow and find their voice and find their way to become stars in this pocket until they are ready to come to television. We could pull from here for the female talent. I wasn't just fighting for me, and I wasn't the only one who posed this question or went to the well. When I realized that this was the fight that I was hanging my hat on, it was unfortunate that it didn't happen the way I wanted to in that moment. So Mickie's rejected pitch is something that fans have been discussing for a while now as well. A short, maybe hour-long, women's wrestling show on the network, which features talent from all three brands that aren't being fully used on TV. It could be a platform to put the unused talent on display, and once they gain that momentum and story, you can transfer all that over to Raw or SmackDown. Maybe some guest appearances from your Raw, SmackDown, or NXT Women's Champions from time to time. A little program like that. But it was unfortunately rejected. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.